Thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. This broadcast is being streamed live on our website nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on the screen. Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says young Nigerians will always rise to the stature of national and global challenges, especially through innovation and technology. And when provided with the right platforms, he explains that this is the more reason why, in addition to government funding, there must be robust private sector interventions to further drive world-class, groundbreaking research and cutting-edge innovation in the country's higher institutions of learning. The Vice President notes that not only are institutions of higher learning providing ground for best ideas, the birthplaces of innovation and groundbreaking research, they are also to all intents and purposes designed to guide and nurture a society's pathway into the future. Yaba College of Technology, he says, is one of the best institutions to use as proof of the concept that the nation can indeed develop world-class higher institutions for innovation and research using both private and public sector finance. From NNPC to NNPC Limited, a transformation that requires a reorientation of staff with the needed business mindset. To achieve this, the Chief of Defence Staff, General Lucky Rabo, who is also the Chairman, Board of Governance of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, leads management of the institute to hold talks with the Chief Executive Officer of the NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, in Abuja. Nia Ogidi brings us the story.
Between 1.6 million and 2 million barrels of daily crude oil production, the oil and gas industry still stands tall on the nation's revenue chart. July 19, 2022 marks the end of government involvement in the industry. No longer NNPC, but now NNPC Limited. Energy for today, energy for tomorrow, and this requires knowledge for today, knowledge for tomorrow. Handshake between knowledge and energy, as it were. NIPS collaborating NNPC Limited for the enactment of strategic policies to better position the industry.
NIPS is providing the manpower development, and of course it stands to reason that whatever happens within the oil and gas space, NIPS is also contributing in that regard.
As our company is transforming, we need to build capacity for leadership, and we have already benefited from the NIPS through a number of participants that have gone through the institute.
NIPS, a think tank, also thinking something big for President Buhari.
And we have discussed with NNPC that we should find ways and means of also ensuring that the legacies of Muhammadu Buhari in the oil and gas industry is documented for posterity.
We are very pleased to hear that they would like to honor Mr. President. And that honor is more important for us than even NIPS, because this president has done great for the oil and gas industry.
Talks over. Time for academic work for NIPS. And for the NNPC Limited, time to think business. Nia Ogidi, NTA News.
To health matters now, about 2 million insecticide-treated nets will be distributed across the 16 local government areas of Taraba State as a key strategy adopted for the prevention and elimination of malaria in Nigeria. This came to the fore as the flag-off ceremony for the distribution of free insecticide-treated nets and seasonal malaria chemo prevention led by the Minister of Health in Jalingo, Taraba State. Bem Hanya reports.
The 2021 World Malaria Report presented a gloomy picture of malaria elimination efforts in Nigeria, as the country is adjudged to be off track towards its attainment of the target of reducing malaria deaths and disease by at least 40% by 2030. It is against this backdrop that the National Malaria Elimination Program under the Federal Ministry of Health, with support from development partners and the Taraba State Government, flagged off the distribution of free nets scheduled from 15th to 26th September 2022.
When it's still on the world, by the distribution of over 2 million heads to the people of Taraba State when they go to places.
Some development partners called on the people to ensure they expose the insecticide-treated nets for 24 hours under the shade before use, tuck the nets properly in their sleeping area, wash it with mild soap when dirty, and roll up when they wake up from sleep.
Now, in view of the traumatic experience associated with military operations in the front line, the Defense and Police Wives Association is to establish a post-traumatic disorder center. This was announced by the DIPOA President Vicky Rabo in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the story.
Troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces, personnel of the police and other security agencies fight at night, on the sea, sky and in the range to secure Nigeria, Nigerians, and maintain its unity. This tasking responsibility most times is associated with traumatic experience that sometimes comes with a price on the personnel and members of their families. To manage this challenge, the POA has commenced the process of establishing an equipped post-traumatic disorder center in Abuja.
The center will have the counseling units, prosthesis production units, the wellness center.
Similarly, the wives of officers of regular Corps 39 have extended their hands of fellowship and humanitarian gesture to the DIPOA Skill Acquisition Center that trains widows of officers and soldiers that have lost their loved ones, and the Defense Medical Facility in Mogadishu Barracks, Abuja.
Our husbands have been in the military 35 years now. So we are so grateful to God to have kept them for this long, because a lot of their colleagues are no longer with us.
The women had earlier paid visit to similar facilities in Lagos and Kaduna states. Ismail Musa, NTA.
Now, the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, Abuja, has commenced hearing on the prolonged strike by members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, with a resolve to give the matter accelerated hearing. Olabode Ariwa reports that the suit was filed by the federal government to compel lecturers to return to classrooms.
The course of action in this matter is the strike embarked upon by members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities on February 14, 2022. The industrial action has kept students of government-owned universities out of classes for the past 7 months. Several attempts have been made by both parties to resolve the matter, but the course of action is yet to be resolved. It is in the light of this that the federal government sued ASU, telling the court that the course of action has paralyzed university education. At Friday's proceedings, Federal Government Counsel informed the court of its application for interlocutory injunction for ASU members to resume lectures while negotiations continue with government, and that the court has jurisdiction to order a suspension of the strike in the public interest. The court has adjourned to Monday for ruling on the interlocutory application.
The council to ASU wanted an adjournment, and we opposed their application for an adjournment on the basis that there is an affidavit of urgency, and as a matter of national interest, that the application for injunction seeking to restrain them from continuing with the strike ought to be heard because it is ripe for hearing. The Honorable Court agreed with us.
The ASU has always been ready for negotiations, and there's no way you are going to resolve this problem without going back to the drawing table.
Counsel to the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, Ebulu Adegboruwa FCN has reminded the court of his pending application to join as a necessary party in the suit, saying that its outcome would affect the students that they represent. The presiding judge, Justice Polycarp Aman, adjourned the matter to next Friday for ruling.
All I can report to Nigerians is the fact that CONOA, as a body union, has never been on strike, has never declared any industrial action.
In all, 2 related suits are before the industrial court on the ASU strike. In Abuja, Olabodarewa, NTA News.
The management of Africa's largest television network, the NTA, say they will leverage on the just concluded International Broadcast Convention in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, to upgrade and position the organization to align with modern global broadcast standards. Anthony Folsom has the details.
NTA management team made up of the Acting Director General Abdulhamid Dambos, Executive Director News Mohamed Labo, Executive Director Programs Wole Koka, and that of Engineering Moses Opanachi. After engaging with the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, and other critical exhibitors and manufacturing companies, they went round exhibition stands and pavilions back home in Nigeria and took them on, one after the other, beginning with the Acting Director General.
The visit was so successful and is very rewarding. We have seen all that we wanted to see, and we have met all our contracts, and any moment from now and whenever we are ready to make purchases for the right equipment. We have the contracts, and the manufacturers are ready to work with us, and I think that is a progress in itself.
For news and programs, what lies ahead?
The industry is very dynamic. Every year there is something new, and we have seen a lot of those things because they don't come cheap. NTA has identified those things that we need, and with the right funding we should be able to acquire those equipment.
Broadcasting is like every minute the goalpost shifts, and you have to know what is out there. For us in NTA, we needed to know, more so preparing for upcoming elections. We want to know what the new technologies, how to deploy it, and what we can do to make a difference in whatever we are going to do. Executive Director Engineering says the best of NTA is on the way.
Why am I so happy? As the Executive Director of Engineering, all our community stations, NTA state capitals that are not been operating 24 hours. With this new development, we go into longer hours of operations, and when we have longer hours of operations, we'll be able to increase our eyeballs, we'll be able to become more relevant, and we'll be able to achieve the mandate of NTA.
Putting up confidence in plans underway for the NTA, the Acting Director General simply said,
"You sound very confident." Oh, sure. For sure. We are much better than ever before, and we are ready for 2023 elections and even beyond. And but what I want to assure Nigerians is that with the plan we have on board, I think a lot should be expected from us, and we will not fail.
Broadcast equipment, we saw for content creations, there is a lot of improvement, a lot of advances. You will agree with me, before now, we need a very big teleprompter. We now have teleprompter that your GSM phone.
Oh, there's so many good things out there, and this year, before the end of the year and before the election, we are prepared to deploy what we're seeing to enhance both our programming and our transmission.
We have the manpower, and we are going to upgrade their capacity. We'll give them the necessary training.
So, what should Nigerians expect from the NTA?
Nigeria should expect the best from NTA.
With these assurances and confidence in the disposition of the management team, indeed, with the right funds available, NTA will maintain its pride of place. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Michael is in Lagos with more stories on Nationwide. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Lami. Motorists plying the ever busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway laments long hours in gridlock along Kara inward beggar axis due to ongoing construction of some bad portions of the road. Abolade Salami, who was at the expressway to monitor traffic, reports that the situation is better not experienced.
The federal government embarked on repair works on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to reduce carnage usually recorded on the axis due to bad road. While the work has gotten to an appreciable stage at both ends of the expressway, minor patches along Kara Bridge inward beggar through the old toll gate result in a daily nightmare.
The day coming from Alausa down to this area, it has taken me 4 hours. It has taken me 4 hours. Sometimes if it takes you 2 hours, you will count yourself lucky.
The traffic coming from the beggar axis, and this is what we face every day in, day out, and in fact it's terrible. It's really terrible. I mean, the government should come and see what it can do to hasten up the job being done.
The contractor needs to do more by ensuring that there's more free flow. It takes about hours some days, while some days takes about maybe 30 minutes from Opik Long Bridge, thereabouts. So I think they have to put into consideration people using that road.
For road users plying the corridor, the gridlock mainly caused by the road repairs is further compounded most times by reckless driving from commercial bus operators and violation to traffic rules, despite the presence of police and traffic control officials. As work intensifies on the road, motorists have been admonished to observe all safety signs along the corridor. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Lagos State government will continue to support security agents in keeping the home front stable and financially viable to sustain the intensity of crime fighting across the metropolis. Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Cecilia Dada, disclosed this at the close of a 4-week vocational training for members of the Police Wives Association and Police Community Relations in Lagos. Musa Tolia has details.
These women are part of the 250 trainees whose lives have been transformed with requisite vocational skills to make them self-reliant and financially independent.
We taught them how to do organic soap, how to do pressing gel, detergent, and they are training us not only to stay at home and depend only on our husband's money, but to come out to do something for ourselves.
The gesture is also targeted at keeping personnel of the Lagos State Police Command focused on their constitutional assignments, given the fact that the home front is financially stable.
Most of police officers are not left out. There are also women in Lagos State. They will be able to cater for their children. They'll be able to cater for their family. They will improve the economic situation of the state as a whole.
The 4-week short-term vocational training saw seasoned trainers take the participants through skills acquisition in 20 vocations, including event decoration, tie and dye, catering and confectionaries, leather works, hairdressing and wig making, fabric stoning and embellishments.
You came and you have conquered and you've learned. Please make use of this and take it as something very important.
It's actually going to improve a lot of officers because officers most times are not at home. They go out to work. Most of them are on transfers and their families are left alone, and some of them are not really working. So with this empowerment, they are going to do better.
The short-term training program is conducted every 3 months in 19 skills acquisition centers in the state, and more than 11,000 trainees have graduated from the program since 2019. In Lagos, Musa Tolia, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Nationwide continues with Salamatu from our Kaduna Network Center. Please stay.
Watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA, and glad to have you join us here in Kaduna. We begin our bulletin with security matters. As security has been restored in Benungwari local government area of Kaduna State following sustained onslaught by troops drafted to crush bandits in that corridor. Motorists plying Benungwari Kaduna Road confirms security improvement. Let's hear more from Haruna Muhammad.
Kidnapping and banditry reign in Benungwari area, making movement along the area a Herculean task. Sometimes motorists access the area with aid of heavy security escorts, but recent effort by troops have yielded positive results with people moving in and out of the area without fear of abduction.
Thank God there are a lot of security improvement, and now you can travel from Benungwari to Kaduna within a short period of time.
For the government has doing a lot of things in this security issue in Benungwari local government, especially the road of Benungwari to Kaduna.
You can travel from Benungwari to Kaduna without any escort, because earlier in a few months ago or years ago, if you are going to Kaduna, you have to get an escort of the police or the army.
Yeah, succeeded in driving away many of these bandits from the road that are hiding under the bushes to attack motorists on the highway from Kaduna to Benungwari.
Investigation shows that motorists have commenced night journey along the area. This confirms the elimination of banditry and kidnapping in the area. Haruna Muhammad, NTA News.
In furtherance of the drive by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA to combat drug-related crimes in Kano, the Command's Drug Demand Reduction Unit embarked on a sensitization work to enlighten the public on the dangers associated with drug abuse. Elizabeth Yila reported that sister security agencies in the state, including core members and other partners, took to the street to drive home the message of a drug-free society.
As the state with the largest population and the youths constituting the largest share of it, Kano is naturally a state of interest to anti-drug abuse agencies in view of the vulnerability issues that abound. Hence, the multiplicity of measures to usher in a drug-safer society. The procession took off from the office of the NDLEA in Kano to the popular Sabon Gari market, where the message of living a drug-free life was passed to the people. The rally continued to other notable areas in the state, with pamphlets distributed to the public, both young and old, including school children. The Kano command of the NDLEA is by this and other measures saying it will not relent in its drug demand reduction drive to achieve maximum positive outcomes.
We do not only engage in arrest and prosecution, but this is one of the channels by which to reduce drug-related crime. And there's going to be serious reduction. With this continuous enlightenment, definitely some people will drop out of the crime.
There is demand, but with this public enlightenment, it's reducing with the public enlightenment, because before, Kano is always number one, but now Kano has reduced.
The sensitization continues as NDLEA keeps up the momentum at eradicating or curbing to the barest minimum the scourge of drug abuse. In Kano, Elizabeth Yila, NTA News.
And Elizabeth Yila's report completes our package. From here. It's back to Lami Ali in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Salamatu. The People's Democratic Party has constituted a 326-man national campaign organization for the 2023 presidential election. The list released by the party's National Organizing Secretary Umar Baturi has the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, as chairman. His Bauchi State counterpart, Bala Muhammad, as Vice Chairman North, and the Oyo State Governor, Mr. Sheyi Makinde, as Vice Chairman South. The list comprises a National Campaign Management Council led by Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal as Director General. Mr. Adeyemi Mayegun is to serve as Administrative Secretary to the Campaign Council. With less than 6 months to the 2023 elections, Accord Party has announced the expulsion of 3 national officials for anti-party activities. National Secretary of the party, Adebukola Abiola, made this known to journalists at the end of the party's National Executive Committee meeting, which held in Abuja, after receiving the report of the disciplinary committee set up to look into the allegations leveled against them.
Prince James Joseph Itiaba, the disciplinary committee found James guilty of gross misconduct, insubordination, breach of the party constitution, and therefore NEC ratified his expulsion from the party. NEC hereby direct the Reverend Isaac Adeniyi, former ex-official member, Innocent Igbokwe, former zonal vice chairman, South.
You know, we're approaching campaign period, and I thank you so very much that our candidates, you know, have lived to the expectation by, you know, observing the rules and regulations of the election as guided by INEC.
The party also passed the vote of confidence on the chairman of National Caretaker Committee of the party, led by Muhammad Lawal Lado. Since monitoring and evaluation facilitates organizational learning and continuous improvement in day-to-day activities of any endeavor, workers of the National Productivity Center have been equipped with appropriate tools to measure performance. The training is to enable lessons learned and success stories to be drawn up on important pointers for the next level project planning cycle. The Director General of the Center, Dr. Kashima Cole, counsels workers to brush up their knowledge and skills, subscribe to online platforms to perform a variety of conceptual analysis required for the formulation, administration and evaluation of projects, as well as have the ability of team spirit and good interpersonal skills.
One, for you to know the critical relevance of the assignment given to you to go on project monitoring. And two, that if you go for this project monitoring, what is expected of you? What are the things that are expected of you? One of the objective of this training is to assist you to know how you can properly package your reports. You're able to understand the concepts and types of monitoring and evaluation, as well as the relevance of monitoring and evaluation in project design and implementation.
Workers are expected to apply lessons learned in contributing to increasing and sustaining productivity. The Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has declared a state of emergency on unemployment, stating that the recipe to addressing it is to equip Nigerians with technical and vocational skills. This was as the formal agreement of collaboration on skills development with the Director General of Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, Adewale Smart Oyorinde. Moplang Dakok reports.
2020 report of the National Bureau of Statistics shows that 23.18 million Nigerians are either unemployed or underemployed. The ITF and NECA, two organizations with passion to equip Nigerians with the requisite skills for employability and entrepreneurship, are deepening relationship, expanding collaboration, and making everything possible to drastically reduce the numbers. The collaboration is taking the path of skill development for the teeming youth across the country, with the firm belief that skill acquisition is the main driver of the economy globally, and Nigeria cannot be left behind.
The government white-collar jobs are either unavailable or not even in existence. And so the only thing is to equip as many Nigerians as possible who can set up on their own, develop the nation, grow MSMEs, which is the largest job creator in any clime, and then change the narrative for our country.
That we join hands with these two agencies to continue to promote everything that will develop skills, everything that will help us to reduce unemployment, and everything that will put Nigeria back in the map of the best economy in Africa.
The need to include technical and vocational education and training (TVET) in the curriculum of primary and secondary schools in order to catch them young was also advocated. In Abuja, Moplan Bakok, NTA News.
Nigeria is putting reading at the top of its priority list as prerequisite for acquiring knowledge and skills needed in a knowledge-driven economy as catalyst for participation in social, cultural, political and economic activities of the nation. This is coming from the Ministry of Education at this year's flag off of the Readership Promotion Campaign. The ministry believes that strong reading culture enhances independence, reinforces academic skills, especially in schools, are fundamental for lifelong learning.
Reading improves focus, memory, empathy, and communication skills. It can reduce stress, improve mental health, and makes one live longer.
On its part, the National Library is taking the campaign with all seriousness to awaken reading culture among Nigerians aimed at raising a literate society.
The habit of reading is speedily approaching freezing point in Nigeria. Hence, the National Library will never rest on her oath until she achieves a reading nation. For a reading nation is a leading nation.
The campaign has the theme Reading as Panacea for Societal Problem in a Changing World, a tool for sustainable economic and political developments. Time to join our Enugu Network Center, and Comfort will be our guide. It's over to you, Comfort.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. Your Southeast Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Health Care has been inaugurated to help improve corporate and quality of healthcare delivery at the primary level across the zone. Performing the ceremony in Enugu State, the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Ehanibe, stated that the inauguration is in line with the World Health Organization guidelines that countries develop their primary healthcare structure for adequate service delivery. Susan Eze has the report.
The systematic engagement of traditional leaders in the Southeast in the primary healthcare system is to galvanize their support to establish health awareness partnerships that will flourish and translate to a highly functional primary healthcare delivery system in the region. Dr. Hanire regrets that Nigeria has one of the highest maternal and under-5 mortality rate in the world, and such records can only be reversed through a functional primary healthcare delivery system.
The idea is that with this connection, we are building the emergency. We need the effort to intensify community mobilization to take much of primary healthcare systems to improve our health industry.
Other key players in the system also harped on the need to expand the scope of healthcare delivery at the primary level.
And then there are people who are the gatekeepers of communities, and these people are the traditional rulers. If healthcare works with traditional rulers, then we are most likely going to reach the targets that are set by healthcare for healthcare delivery.
The Southeast Traditional Leaders Committee, chaired by the chairman, Enugu State Traditional Rulers Council, His Royal Highness Lawrence Agobozo, was charged to intensify community mobilization efforts to achieve the regional and national targets on routine immunization, COVID-19 vaccination, polio eradication, and maternal and child health. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Worm infestation is a common health hazard that should be controlled, otherwise could lead to death, according to experts. With this in mind, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health, have taken the National Deworming Campaign to the southern parts of the country. The 2-day training is for beneficiaries of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. Over 10 million children across the country are fed under the National School Grain Feeding Program, and these children may end up sharing the food with worm if not dewormed.
We cannot be given children food and expect them to maximize benefits or take advantage of this seed if the child is away. They will end up sharing the food with worm.
The National Training and Trainers TOT for the co-implementation of the Deworming and Social Feeding Program is in the package of the National Investment Programs introduced in 2016 by President Buhari, meant to address some social-economic impact that exists in Nigeria.
Adults with anemia, nutritional deficiency, which is especially harmful to our children.
Gathered in Enugu State, venue of the event, to brainstorm on the mass deworming campaign are stakeholders, directors from the Federal Ministry of Health, Orientation and partner agencies.
So on behalf of the state governor and the people of Enugu State, I welcome all of you to this 2-day training, which we expect to build capacity and improve, and at the end, to deworm our people in the people that are benefiting from that having institute program.
As an adult, when was the last time you dewormed yourself? A take-home message from the Federal Ministry of Health. In Enugu, and that was our contribution from Enugu. Remember, you can follow this news broadcast live on our social media handle at NTA News Now, on our Facebook page at NTA Network News, and our YouTube channel at NTA Live. And we will take another break here. Nationwide will continue in Maiduguri after this break. To stay with us.
For stay with us in Nationwide up to this moment, and this is Maiduguri Network Center. Let's move on now. Borno State All Progressives Congress says it has fully strategized for continuity and provision of better living condition to Nigerians. Borno State APC Chairman of Reconciliation Committee, Mohammed Tahir Mugru, disclosed this shortly after submitting a report to the party chairman Alibukar Dalori at the APC Secretariat in Maiduguri. Umar Kira will now tell us more.
Ahead of the 2022 general elections, political parties across the country continue to make deliberate efforts of coming up victorious at the polls. The ruling All Progressives Congress APC in Borno is also readjusting its steps to come to common terms with all party candidates and supporters for the better. The 9-member Reconciliation Committee of the political party, chaired by Barrister Muhammad Tahir Mugru, has now submitted its comprehensive report towards reconciling aggrieved APC aspirants and supporters of the last primary elections within the 27 local government areas of Borno State. Barrister MT Mangunu appreciated the party leadership for the assignment, saying all the views of the aggrieved aspirants were captured in the report without compromising a single word from their statements.
In our party, we should not take electoral contestation as a do or die affair. And 2, we should always imbibe the spirit and culture of magnanimity in victory and gallantry in defeat.
APC party chairman of Borno, Alibukar Dalori, appreciated the Reconciliation Committee for what he described as a job well done to further strengthen the party towards ensuring continuity and solidarity of the good works executed across the country.
They did a good job, and also I commend them for what they did.
The party leadership promised to study the report and implement their recommendations where necessary to improve unity in the party and further forge ahead to continue to develop in Borno and beyond. In Maiduguri, Umuru Kirawa, NTA News.
Let's look at some humanitarian matters now. Over 20 liberated, constructed and resettled communities in Borno are picking up pieces of their lives, an initiative of the government with federal support and further helping hands from partners, which has led to the closure of most internally displaced persons camps. Borno State Emergency Management Agency at the Center of Humanitarian Intervention since the opening chapters of the 13 years of Boko Haram insurgency is evolving a new partnership with Public Service International to enhance health service provision to returnee communities, IDPs and other vulnerable members of the society. Here are more details of the story.
When it became apparent that keeping hundreds of thousands of IDPs in camps living on humanitarian aid was not sustainable, Governor Zulum administration initiated the program, Voluntary Resettlement of Communities in Areas Considered Safe to Return after successful counter-insurgency operations. Despite return of civil authority and provision of social amenities, the resilient communities continue to receive humanitarian services in the stabilization phase. It is in that regard that the Public Service International, concerned about the plight of IDPs and returnees, is pledging partnership with the Borno State Emergency Management Agency in the area of health service provision. The National Coordinator, Public Service International, Madoreke Abiodun Badru, promised to support health service delivery to vulnerable persons in Borno. The Director General, Borno State Emergency Management Agency, Yaba Okulu, welcomed the support and partnership from the organization with over 30 million membership strength operating worldwide. She urged the Public Service International to extend the healthcare delivery support to resettled communities, a major area of concern and awareness creation on health hazards of flood disaster currently being experienced in the state.
We are not unmindful of some of the international protocols guiding the return of IDPs to return in safety, dignity, and other principles that are supposed to put in place.
While in Borno, the PSI team, led by the National Coordinator, paid an advocacy visit on the state legislature and solicited for speedy passage of health-related bills by the lawmakers.
Joining us here onto Nationwide on Africa's Window to the World, the NTA. Let us at this point return to Lami in Abuja for more reports for us this evening.
Thank you so much, Abubakar. Now, sequel to the recent collapse of a portion of the Mina-Bida road in Niger State, the state government has fixed the affected parts of the highway and also commenced maintenance work. The project manager and state chairman interim project management committee, Zakari Abubakar, while inspecting the ongoing rehabilitation work, said repairs have begun in earnest on the 88 kilometers road as contracts have been awarded and contractors mobilized to site. Fatima Usman reports.
The new development has eased both human and vehicular movement, while articulated vehicles trapped in the ugly incidents have also been evacuated. Contract for the reconstruction and dualization of the dilapidated highway connecting Ilorin, Jeba, Mokwa to Mina, the Niger State capital, was initially awarded 4 years ago and re-awarded to an indigenous company last year, but still leaves much to be desired. The committee on the inspection tour of the road project, which collapses almost annually, however, assured of speedy completion.
We're talking about a total of $160 million involving 3 institutions. When you look at all this, you have so many jurisdictional issues coming up. All those things at this point have been ironed out. We assure the general public that there is the political will to conclude this project.
Other infrastructural projects inspected by the team includes 10-kilometer Tungango-Rotagwai Dam Road and the State Assembly Extension Complex in Mina. I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
Now, concerns over bad road practices seem to be engaging more stakeholders in the transport sector, with the Federal Road Safety Corps sustaining efforts in building capacity towards reducing incidences of auto crash statistics in 2022. Abubakar Apanga reports.
The 4 last months of the year is usually a busy period for the Federal Road Safety Corps, and a greater commitment is required to stem the tides of auto crash. And these stakeholders' engagement is one of the many collaborative efforts aimed at strengthening capacity to keep the roads safe for users and investments. The 2 partners agreed that speeding, night travels, overloading and the use of drug are harmful practices that will will increase the surge of auto crash.
If we partner with us in public education, I know we do a lot of business, motor park rallies. I know our main BDC parks now what we call the early morning crime. All these issues we are discussing now, they are all related to the environment. We are partners in progress. We will continue to cooperate.
To know that issues of safety on the road are so critical that no one, particularly the transporters, should treat with levity for the purpose of achieving total sanity in encouraging a road safety culture in Nigeria will be definitely produce positive results.
The continued synergy with strategic agencies is to assist the corps reach out to target population as it races against time to secure Nigerian roads. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari extends condolences to Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State and his family on the passing of their beloved mother, Mrs. Grace Akeredolu. The statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the President urges Akeredolu family members to draw strength from the life lessons taught by Mama, the values of care and compassion she inculcated in them, and the sacrifices she made for her children to succeed in life. President Buhari prays for the peaceful repose of the soul of the departed and urges the family to hold fast to their faith and trust in God to guide them through this difficult period. Life is transient and temporal, but the good deeds and legacies of humans will continue to live even in death. This came to the fore at the funeral service of the late chairman NTA board, Chief Duro Jai Onabule, as the Cathedral Church of Our Saviour Ijebodi. Correspondent Joel Popola reports that Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed was represented by the acting DG of NTA, Abdulhamid Dombas.
The atmosphere at the funeral service for the late chairman, NTA board and Jagunmolu of Ijebu Land, Chief Duro Jai Onabule, was agog as dignitaries came from far and near to pay their last respects. Acting DG of NTA led the management of NTA as they joined well-wishers to pay their last respect and also commiserate with the family.
He's one individual that has been able to mobilize the management to work as a family, and he's also an individual who cares so much about staff welfare and the progress of the authority.
I worked with him at the State House from Gordon Barracks to Aso Villa, and our relationship was very, very cordial. He guided me in so many ways in the course of my profession in the State House.
In a solemn mood, the body of the veteran journalist was ushered into the cathedral. The Bishop of Ijebu, the Anglican Diocese, in his sermon described the late double chief as a very disciplined and diligent journalist who gave his very best to the noble profession. He charged his children and family members to emulate its exemplary attributes. Various groups, including the Old Boys of CMS Grammar School, Lagos, and members of the NTA family, all paid tribute. A special thanksgiving captured just how the children and well-wishers are grateful to God for the life of Chief Onabule.
He was a great dad. He was a great father to us. He was a great guardian to a lot more people out there.
Very caring, good father to the children, and I really miss him.
The octogenarian was later buried at his residence in a solemn mood. Late Chief Duro Jai Onabule was one-time Chief Press Secretary to former military president Ibrahim Babangida. He was aged 83. In Ijebu, Joel Popola, NTA News.
That's it on Nationwide. We thank you for watching. Join the fight to stop raping rapists. Join the NTA in this campaign. I'm Lami Ali, and have a good weekend.